outward places are most pleasant, but rather to return to that wherein thou wast born, and where thou wert appointed to be a citizen. Try to enjoy the great festival of life with other men. But I have one whom I must please, to whom I must be subject, whom I must obey, God, those who come next to him. He hath entrusted me with myself. He hath made my will subject to myself alone, and given me rules for the right use thereof. Rufus used to say, if you have leisure to praise me, what I say is not. In truth he spoke in such wise that each of us who sat there thought that someone had accused him to Rufus. So surely did he lay his finger on the very deeds we did, so surely display the faults of each before his very eyes. But what saith God? Had it been possible, Epictetus, I would have made both thy body of thine and thy possessions free and unimpeded. But as it is, be not deceived, it is not thine own, it is but finely tempered clay. Since then this I could not do, I have given thee a portion of myself, in the power of desiring and declining, and of pursuing and avoiding, and in a word, the power of dealing with the things of sense. And if thou neglect not this, but place all that thou hast therein, thou shalt never be let or hindered. Thou shalt never lament. Thou shalt not blame or flatter any. What then? Seemeth this to thee a little thing? God forbid. Be content then therewith. And so I pray the gods. That is part 2 of Epictetus. Okay, here's part 3. What saith Antisthenes? Hast thou never heard? It is a kingly thing, Osiris, to do well, and to be evil spoken of. Aye, but to debase myself thus were unworthy of me. That, said Epictetus, is for you to consider, not for me. You know yourself what you are worth in your own eyes, and at what price you will sell yourself. For men sell themselves at various prices. This was why, when Florus was deliberating whether he should appear at Nero's shows, taking part in the performance himself, Agrippinus replied, appear by all means. And when Florus inquired, but why do not you appear? He answered, because I do not even consider the question. For the man who has once stooped to consider such questions and to reckon up the value of external things is not far from forgetting what manner of man he is. Why? What is it that you ask of me? Is death preferable of life or life? I reply, life. Pain or pleasure? I reply, pleasure. Well, but if I do not act, I shall lose my head. Then go and act. But for my part, I will not act. Why? Because you think yourself but one among the many threads which make up the texture of the doublet. You should aim at being like men in general, just as your thread has no ambition either to be anything distinguished compared with the other threads. But I desire to be the purple, that small and shining part which makes the rest seem fair and beautiful. Why then do you bid me become even as the multitude? Then were I no longer the purple. If a man could be thoroughly penetrated, as he ought, with this thought that we are all in an especial manner sprung from God, and that God is the Father of all men as well as of gods, full surely he would never conceive aught ignoble or base of himself. Okay, this is part 3 of Epictetus.